Okay. I think it's interesting composition. I think that it's good that you've got these mushrooms in the foreground, um, and this kind of in the foreground and the character in the background. I think that's working. I feel like the ground could use some more attention. It's just a little too even, and it's sort of high contrast. So it's also a very different color than the walls, and I would expect it to be made of something a more similar set of dirt and rock as you have on the walls. There's also maybe a scaling issue here with this texture because um, that looks like a very like the side of the Grand Canyon or something, where you know. Well, let's take a look at it in Maya. I'm impressed that you got the bird rigged. That's good. But yeah, when I look at the scale of this, like I imagine that these dots are trees. And so the scale really doesn't match yeah, it looks like sort of the side of the Grand Canyon. And this, that would mean this character was an enormous giant. So I might try something different for those walls, a different texture. Maybe do some searching around. cgtextures.com has a lot of good stuff. You can grab something from there. Um, like a better kind of rock face. And then, yeah, as I was saying before, the ground is just very bumpy and high contrast, and there's not a sense of history on the ground. So, you know, is this walked along a lot, or does or did water run through here and kind of carve out the ground? I wouldn't expect the ground to be so perfectly flat either. So having some shape to the ground as well, and some additional details, especially to break up this seam here, maybe some rocks, boulders, tufts of grass. The mushrooms help, certainly, but I think, more of where that says what we should see. And just a similar, whatever texture you choose for these, it should be a similar set of colors because I imagine it's made from the same dirt and rock. The other thing is that if this is going to be in the foreground, I think you need to kind of put some more time sculpting some detail in here and get a little bit of a nicer texture because if it was like if that was the closest you ever got to it, you'd probably get away with it like that. But if the camera's going to be here, the texture's not really holding up, the model's not holding up that well. And I think you need take some time to model a branch to make this a little nicer. It's usable. I just think it could be a lot better than what you have. I do like the mushrooms, and like I said, I'm impressed that you got this little bird rig going. I think a lot of your controls are hidden inside here, so you're going to want to select those and go into component mode and select those components, and then scale it out and so forth. Move it so you can actually use those controls because otherwise, well, you can't, and you may want to. So, but yeah, cool little character. And yeah, basically, I think the kind of plan of the environment is nice. I just think take another pass at the textures really is the big thing, and then some more detailed stuff on the ground to make it fit with the rest of the environment.